It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so another interesting fight that just recently got announced, and a lot of people have been asking me about this one as well on a lot of the recent lives that I've been doing. And I thought the minute I heard about this matchup, I thought, man, what a great Crossroads fight! What a fight to see what one fighter still has left, and what one fight, and how good is the other fighter, which is, save the date. It'll be a momentous occasion out there in Glendale, Arizona, as Oscar Valdez will be taking on Liam Wilson in a great Crossroads fight. It'll be in Top Rank. A lot of fights going to Arizona, and I still haven't gone to Arizona yet. I really do want to go to Arizona for a fight, so maybe this winds up being the card I go to. Who knows? I'm gonna be all over the place this year, but it'll be a lot of fun. But let's talk about the fight. So we'll start with Oscar Valdez, right? Because this is the man in Valdez that really and truthfully has had the more decorated career of the two. Valdez, I think, he's 33 years old, but I think he's actually older than his age actually is in boxing years, because there's been a lot of wear and tear on the body. He's been in some big wars, like the recent Navarrete fight, Scott Quigg way back in the day. He's gone through the grinder, and I think it's a blessing that, he linked up with Eddie Reynoso, and he was able to refine and tweak his style towards the latter stages of his career, because it was looking for a while like he was going to have a very similar career to Alex Saucedo. If you guys remember Alex Saucedo, he was all action, come for Mexican fighter, had a lot of fight of the year candidates and contenders, and then, retired at 26 because he took too much punishment. I thought that was going to be Valdez's fate, but it's a blessing that he even lasted this long. So God bless him for that. But, he hasn't been in the best run of form over the last couple of years. When we look at Valdez, if you start from the Robinson Consensao fight, which I thought he lost, many people thought he lost. I thought he got a get decision in that fight. I thought Consensao should have won that fight. Lost its won a fight controversially. Came back, got absolutely shut out by Shakur Stevenson, and got given a boxing lesson. Okay, suffered the first loss of his pro career. Then he came back in a little another Crossroads fight against Adam Lopez, rematch against Adam Lopez, a guy that he had beaten in the past already, and he wanted to beat him. And then in the last fight, they had the fight that they thought was going to be like Morales versus Barrera, and it didn't wind up going that way. It was a fun fight, but Navarrete won a very one-sided but exciting one-sided fight, if that makes sense. So he's on paper, he's 2-2 in his last 4 fights. I really think he's like 1-3 in his last 4 fights, and he's 33 years old now. So I really think that if he doesn't win this fight, this could be it. And on the other side of the ring, you're looking at Liam Wilson, a guy that is really interesting, because when you look at him, this is a guy that was a heavy underdog. I believe he was like an 8-1 or 7-1 underdog against Vaquero Navarrete, and he actually wound up dropping Navarrete, and it looked like he was going to stop him, and that's not what happened. Navarrete survived just long enough, and he got him later in the fight, and he got Liam Wilson out there in the 9th round, but his stock went up exponentially in a loss. But we saw in that fight the kind of fighter that Liam Wilson is capable of being. It's just that Navarrete is a special fighter, a special type of fighter. A guy that does everything wrong, but he just knows how to come and get you. And you got to be in, like, when I say supreme, whatever is above supreme condition, you got to be above that to even have a chance of beating him. That's the kind of fighter he is. Liam Wilson, I think, since that fight, he's had 2 stay busy wins, and he's 27 years old, so he's at a good age. He's still relatively fresh, and this is got to be a fight for him. I feel like Top Rank is setting Liam Wilson up in a good way to get a victory, because you got to look at it for what it is. Valdez is the more experienced fighter. Valdez is the more accomplished fighter, but you got to look at where he's at in his career. He's 33 years old. The checks have cleared. The money's been cashed and saved and stashed away. He's got more miles in the odometer. This is really Liam Wilson's fight to lose, I feel. I really do. Because you saw, he's an Australian fighter. One thing that Australia has proven, especially these last couple years, is that they're tough. They don't give a shit about anything out the ring, and inside the ring, they're extremely tough. And he's got a really good left hook. He's not afraid to go in there and exchange. I think he has the kind of work rate that could give Valdez problems, because over the last couple years, it's crazy. It's crazy what's happened to Valdez over these last couple years, style wise, because he used to be a guy back when he fought Scott Quigg that was all action, come forward, blood and guts warrior. But then when he got with Eddie Reynoso, he adopted more of like a aggressive counter punching style. So a lot of times, even in some of the fights he's been winning over the last couple of years, because he's always sitting back and waiting to counter so hard of his opponent's mistakes, he gives his opponents times to work, and they have their fair share of successes. And that's where I think Liam Wilson will have a chance to really have his way in this fight, and I think one thing that Valdez does have going in his favor is that the fight's going to be in Arizona again, which is where he's from. So he's got that going on in his favor. But look, man, Top Rank's going to get really creative, I think, over the next couple of years of getting opponents for Vaquero Navarrete. If Liam Wilson wins this fight, he becomes an option. He becomes an option for a Vaquero Navarrete rematch. So I think Valdez has to cut. This is a fight where this gentleman right here, the Mexican Olympian, Oscar Valdez, he has to remind the world of why he was world champion, why he was highly regarded, why it was a big deal when Shakur Stevenson was the first man to defeat him. Because boxing, unfortunately, I mean, I'm a boxing nerd, and this is like my life pretty much, covering boxing, but like, I have a long memory, but not everybody does. People have like jobs and family and work and stuff, so they don't really. It's not that deep to a lot of people. And sometimes when you're in a bad run of form, people can forget all the good you did, right? So this has got to be a fight where Oscar Valdez shows the young buck, the younger, more inexperienced fighter than Liam Wilson, why he is who he is. And I think because of that, because of these things, you're going to get a very determined Oscar Valdez. Whatever he has left to give to this sport, I feel like you should be getting it in this fight, because Oscar Valdez is a true professional. He's lived that life of a fighter for many, many years. And yeah, he had his slip-ups. Every fighter's had their slip-ups, with the flat tummy tea and all that stuff back in the day, back a couple years ago. But he's a guy that's is a true fighter, and he's been always down to fight anybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of Oscar Valdez we get at this stage of his career. I'm looking very forward to seeing what does he have left to give to the sport. Because when you fight a guy like Vaquero Navarrete, and then you add up all the wars that he's had over the years against, Scott Quigg, Evgeny Gradovich, all these hellacious fights, they add up, and they add up quick. So for me, the way I'm looking at it is, yes, Valdez is more experienced, but I'm leaning a little bit more towards Liam Wilson, only because I just think he's getting at the right time. That's the right fight at the right time, and he's the right guy. But nonetheless, they fight the fights for the reason, and we will see how it goes. But save the date, guys. March 29th, Arizona will be a really good one. Really good Crossroads fight on Top Rank. So leave your comments down below. Who you guys favoring and why? You going with Liam Wilson? You going with the Aussie? Or you going with the Mexican? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.